Hi everybody and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really fun Blade Runner bracelet, and this was designed by Lumania0304 on Instagram, and I'm going to bring up her profile in just a second. These are the two versions of her design that I've done so far. So, here is Lumania0304. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I just want to show you a quick overview of her profile because she makes a lot of amazing original designs, and her color combos are always amazing, and her edits always, I guess, match the bracelet. So I really like her account, so definitely make sure to check her out on Instagram and give her a follow for me. I will also have her name in the description box below, so make sure to check her out. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make this, and I have bigger beads in this bracelet and then smaller ones in this bracelet, so whatever size you want to use, you can use. You're going to need 6 bar pins or 12 bar pins for a full wrap. You may notice that I am zoomed in quite a bit, and that's because I am making a full wrap, so I will be going off camera to finish the parts, or to finish each step. You're also going to need a hook, a C-clip, and 11 to 12, or 11 or 12 beaded bands. So I just used floss, like dental floss, to thread these beads on. You can also use craft wire or a broken band too if you don't have either of those. So, and also if you're making one for like a kid, you might want to use 9 or 10 just because 11 I think fits my wrist perfect, and then 10 is a little bit small for me. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Today I am only using 2 colors, which are going to be the Sweets Deep Lilac and Mother of Pearl. So for the white in this bracelet here, I'm going to be using the Sweets Lilac, and then for the Caribbean Green I will be using Mother of Pearl. So let's go ahead and get started. First we're going to be laying our border, which is, again, Sweets Lilac for me. So I'm going to take 2 bands and place it across the bottom here. If you want, you can only do 1 or you can do more. It's up to you. I just like to do 2, especially with beaded bracelets. So anyway, all you're going to do now is go up into the outside twice, just like this, and same thing on the other side. And once you have that, what you're going to do is just do a single chain until you reach the 3rd to last peg on your loom. But you will want to count up, I think, 23 spaces if you're doing 11 beads. I will come back and tell you once I finish that, but for now I'm going to head off camera and finish both of these sides, and then I'll come right back and tell you what you need, how many spaces you need to go up, and then I'll show you how to finish it. Okay, so once you have finished placing all of your border bands, you should have 23 gaps, in the center here. And then you want to go up into the center twice. Sorry, I'm holding my camera with my hand. So it should go up and into the center, up at the top, and we're going to leave those last 2 pegs blank. If you're doing 2 full loom lengths long, this is what it will look like at the end. I have 2 looms here, so once your loom looks like that, let's go back to the beginning. And now what we're going to be doing is placing our next layer, which is this Caribbean green here. And in here it's this Mother of Pearl. So I'm going to be using Mother of Pearl again. Oops, I have an extra band there. And all you're going to be doing is placing a simple zigzag. So you're going to go into the center, and then back out, into the center, and back out. So make sure that you do this all the way down until you reach the end of the loom, and make sure that you do this on both sides. Again, the right is just the same thing. You're going to the inside and then back out. And you're going to do this all the way down until you reach the end of your loom. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, finish that up, and then I'll show you what bands to place next. Alright, so once you get to the end of your loom, it should look like this. You're going to have your zigzags ending on this outside pin, and same on this side. Once your loom looks like this, go ahead and come back to the beginning of your loom. And let me just try and get this adjusted here. What we're now going to be doing is placing our next bands, which is going to be another layer of your your purple sweets, and it's going to be these 4 white chains, and you can lay them all at once. I'm going to lay them all at once just so I can save time. You're just going to do a single chain on these 4 center pegs here, and you're going to do it all the way up the loom. And then once you finish, we're going to have another step to do. So just go ahead and continue your single chains all the way up your loom, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Oh. Okay, so once you have finished, it should look like this at the end of your loom, and your single chain should just all end here on these last 4 pegs up here. So once you have finished placing all of your single chains, go ahead and come back to the beginning of your loom. And what we're now going to be doing is placing kind of these X bands in the center here, and those are Caribbean green in this bracelet, so I will be using mother of pearl here. And all you're going to be doing is placing an X band on these first 2 pegs, so go from the left up to the right, and then the right up to the left. But then what we're going to be doing is skipping this section because this is where we are going to place a bead, but we can't place it now, we have to place it later. So skip these 2 parts, and we're going to put another X here. Again, skip these 2 pegs, I guess, and put another X. So you're just skipping a space in between each X. And you're going to do this all the way up until you reach the end of your loom. I'll go ahead and come back after I have finished the rest of this. And when you finish this bracelet, you should have an X ending here. So if you do not have an X at the end, you may want to consider adjusting your loom so that there is an X at the end. And once you have that X at the end, it's just the same all the way down your loom. Go ahead and come back to the beginning. And what we're now going to be doing is placing our last bands before we place our beaded bands. And that is another zigzag. Again, it's this Caribbean green right in here. And in this one, I actually used white instead of the mother of pearl. So I'm going to be using mother of pearl because that's my zigzag color. And just like this outer zigzag, you're going to start by going into the center. And then you're going to go ahead and go back to the outside, then back in, and back to the outside. And you're just going to do this on both sides. So again, on the right side, oops, make sure you go into the center, and back out, and then back in. And go ahead and do this all the way down the rest of your loom. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and I will come back to show you how to place your beaded bands. Okay, so once you have finished placing all of your zigzags, it should look like this. And sorry for the shaky camera, I'm trying to get a hold of it. Once you have gone to the outside, just like we did here, and make sure it's on both sides, then what we're going to do is come back to the beginning of our loom, and we're going to place our last bands, which are going to be the beaded bands. So let me go ahead and get mine. And I have 11 of these, which is the standard size that fits me. And so what we're actually going to be doing is taking this band, and we're going to stretch it right in the center of this X here, or in the middle of these 2 X's. And we're going to put it around this peg and stretch it across, oops, to this peg. Kind of push my camera. Okay, and then if it ends up looking like this, just go ahead and push that into the middle. It'll make it easier when you loop this and take it off. So then, again, the X is here, so we're not going to place any bands here. We're going to place it in the center of the 2 X's. Place it around one peg, stretch it to the other peg, and then center it. And last one. And stretch it in there and push them down and center it. So I'm going to go ahead and place all of the rest of these bands really quick, and then I will come back and show you how to loop. So you may notice I did just turn my loom around. I placed all of my beaded bands here and centered them and pushed them down, and then I turned my loom around because now we get to start the looping process. So first, before we start the looping, we were going to take 1 or 2. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 to make it more sturdy. And what you're going to do is double on your hook, and then we're going to stretch it across these bottom 2 pegs here. Oops. the disadvantages to having two bands is that sometimes they don't always go on the pegs. You're going to stretch it across here, and that's going to be your cap band. That's the only cap band we're going to place. And then what we're going to be doing is looping these X's in the center. So first what you want to do is go underneath of here, and you're going to grab that bottom X band. Mine is on the left. If you placed it like I did, it should be on the left. You're going to pull it to itself, just like this, and pull this one to itself as well. So it should look like this now. And then you're going to go up to your next X, and you're going to loop that too. Now notice that these zigzags here aren't looped yet, but that's alright. It's supposed to be like that. So just push back those two zigzag loops, grab your X band, try to keep it straight, and pull it to itself. Make sure you're grabbing the bottom one first, and then again on the right side, pull that to itself as well. So you're going to do this all the way down the loom. I have the rest of my X's here, which are kind of hard to see. I'm actually going to push my camera a little bit forward so you can see that third X there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this all the way down the rest of my loom. I suggest you do the same, pause, and then I will come back when I am finished. And then once you get to the top of your loom, it should look like this, with that X just looped up to that center band there. So then come back to the beginning of your loom, and we're now going to be looping our next bands, which, let me adjust this again, are going to be these single chains in the middle. Now it might be a little bit weird again since these zigzags aren't looped yet, but just don't worry, it's normal. So what you're going to do is just go underneath, grab that center single chain, you're going to pull it forward, and pull this forward as well. Then go inside of this peg, push back those zigzag bands, and grab that bottom single chain, pull it forward, add this bottom single chain, and pull it forward. And you will do this all the way down until you reach the end of your loom, so just go ahead and pull that forward, pull that forward. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this, and pause your videos, and I will come back and do the next part with you. And then again, once you get to the end, your single chain should just loop up to that very top, and you're going to want to push your bands down and then come back to the beginning of your loom. And now what we're going to be doing is looping these mother of pearl zigzags here after a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and start looping these zigzags. So if you've ever made the Danube bracelet, also designed by Loomania0304, which I have on my channel, this zigzag looping will just be the same as that. So what you're going to do is go underneath, and you're going to grab the zigzag band that goes back to here. You're going to grab it, and it's not going to make a teardrop shape, so just be aware it's not going to make that teardrop shape. And then you're going to grab this other zigzag band and pull it up to itself. But then that's where it kind of changes, so you're going to go inside of here and grab this band and loop it into itself here, and then grab this band and loop it out. Notice that these aren't really going to make teardrop shapes since this single chain band and these X bands pull those zigzags out of proportion. So what you're going to do is just continue looping these zigzags all the way down until you reach the end of your loom. You're actually looping it in a zigzag shape, not looping it out to itself. So I think that's what confuses people sometimes, so make sure that you do know that you're looping it like a zigzag shape. I'm going to go ahead and do this on the right side really quick. Again, pull that one back to itself, the first one only. Then pull that one to itself. And then pull this in and back out. In and back out. So go ahead and do this all the way down the loom. I'm going to do the same, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Alright, so once you have finished looping all of those zigzags, it should look like this, and your last one is going to end out here. And then once you have finished that, go ahead and come back to the beginning of your loom. We're now going to be doing a kind of sequence here with the zigzag bands and the single chain bands. But first, you're going to go underneath of this capping band and just grab that top border band and pull it out to itself. Same here, pull this border band out to itself. And now what we're going to do is we're going to Sorry, I'm trying to get this at a good angle. We're going to be lifting over this bottom band here. Again, if you've done the Danube bracelet, this should be pretty simple to you. So grab this bottom band, pull it up, over, and release. Then what you're going to do is go inside of here, and you're going to grab that single chain band. You're going to pull it forward. And this peg, if you have the bead on it, is going to have 3 bands, but just like the first one, you're going to grab only the bottom band, pull up and over, and release. Again, pull that single chain band forward, grab the bottom one, pull it up, over, and release, and do that all the way down the loom. And then on this side, it's just the same thing. Make sure that your border band is looped out, and then loop that band over. Oops, nudged my camera. And you're going to go ahead and pull this forward and grab that bottom band. Make sure you're on the outside grabbing that bottom band. Pull up and over, and then pull it straight forward. Pull it straight forward, up, and over. Alright. So go ahead and do this all the way down until you reach the end of your loom. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this, finish the rest of this, and then I'll come back and show you how to loop this zigzag and the border as well. Okay, so once you have finished looping that over, you're going to pull up the single chain here and then pull that band over as well so that it looks like this. And then once your loom looks like this, go ahead and push your bands down and come back to the beginning of your loom. Sorry, that's my my camera making that sound. And then once you've come back to the beginning of your loom, what you're going to do is do the same thing to these zigzags, so make sure that you loop them just like you did these inner ones. So again, go underneath and grab that top band, just the first one, and loop it back to itself. And then loop this one out to itself, and this one in, this one out to itself, and this one in. Again, same on this side, you're just going to pull back that first band to itself, then pull this one out, in, out, and in. So go ahead and loop all of your zigzags down the rest of your loom. I'm going to do the same thing, come back, and I'll show you how to loop the border along with these zigzag bands. And now your loom should look like this with your zigzags ending on those outer pins. And then what you're going to do once your loom looks like this is come back to the beginning. And now what we're going to do is our last step, which is the same stitch that we did on the inside here. And, it's also the same stitch on the inside of the Danube bracelet. So before we start doing that stitch, of course, we have to loop out this next border band here. I keep pushing my camera. Alright. And then what you're going to do, just like we did before, is take this bottom band and hook it over. Then go all the way to the bottom, grab that single chain band and pull it forward, and lift over that bottom band. Again, pull the single chain forward, lift over the bottom band. This one should be slightly easier seeing as how there is only 2 bands on each peg. You're just grabbing the bottom one. And same over here. I can't really see on this side, so I'm going to have to turn it here. And then just go ahead and loop it. Thought I had that. Loop that single chain forward. Lift that over. Pull it forward. Lift it over. And continue doing this all the way down your loom. Then I'll show you how to pull this off of your loom and how to finish it. Alright, so once you have finished looping all of those zigzags and the single chains up, it should look like this. And then your last peg here will have this band looped over. And then what we're going to do is pull those bands up into the center, and I'm actually going to have to set my camera down, and then I'm going to pull this up to here. So it's going to be a little bit sideways. I'm going to try and do my best to show you from here. You're just going to simply grab that bottom band and loop it up, grab this bottom band and loop it up, just like that. Alright, and I think it would be easier on this side for you to see, so go ahead and grab this band, loop it up, then grab this bottom band and loop it up. And now what you're going to do is just grab these 2 bottom bands here. I'm going to hold on to this one side. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other side. I'm going to put both on my hook. That one's not on my hook. Alright, so then I'm going to go off camera and pull this off because it might take a little bit for me. And then I'll come back and finish this. Alright, so I have finished pulling this off of my loom, and it looks amazing. I just have to say. I love how the Mother of Pearl works with this band. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe. And also make sure to follow Lumania0304. I will have her name in the description box below. And that's all I'm going to have for this video. I hope to have some more up today, so I hope to see you next time.